Hey, good Tuesday afternoon, YouTube. Hugmeister's Garage and Workshop. Uh, Getting a little stir crazy over here, so I decided to start something. This is going to be kind of out of sync. I'm going to finish up my new truck video first, but basically what you're going to see, what I'm trying to do, I sold my red truck and I got this single cab F-350. Got a pretty good deal on it for a new one, if there is such a thing. But the problem is, in my red 2016, I had an extra battery tray, and that's where I mounted my air horn system. And now this truck out here came with two batteries and two alternators. And it's a gas truck, so it's got that heavy duty electrical system in it. So we can't mount it under the hood. But what I found, there's a little bit of space on the passenger side behind the seat. So what I'm going to try to do is I found this piece of 1/2-inch vinyl board. I'm going to remount my compressor on this board, put my air chuck there, and oh, it's my showing up. I got my manifold here I'm going to mount somehow, and I'm going to try to keep this horn solenoid in the cab, and then I'm just going to run a branch line down to the floor. I think I found a grommet back there, and so I can just have the air tank underneath the rail along with the horns. I got to find a spot for them. They take up a lot of room. I don't know. I want to put those in, but I might end up just putting the Hadley back in. I'm not going to have both this time because I'm going to get a electronic air horn for the front. But that's kind of what I want to do, and I guess we got to get to work. The key is going to be finding room under the rail. I know there's room, but I try to mount it where it's not getting a lot of weather, but that's an aluminum tank. So I'm sure if I do some more digging under there, it's raining out now, but I can at least get this mounted so it's all in one unit. That'll be nice. So I can just put like one bolt down through and it'll hold the whole thing, but I'll still have my air tank underneath. So let's get to work. Okay, like it always goes, we got everything we own dragged out again. Air hose, fittings, hardware. But we're making progress. Got our compressor mounted, got our manifold mounted, got our solenoid mounted, and our air gauge. That's going to go right around and it went into the end of here. Compressor in. It's going to be our air chuck in the cab for if we just plug our air hose in there if we need it. Cutoff switch. This is going to go down underneath through that bushing I found in the floor behind the seat. And that is going to feed our tank. And then this is just going to get backfed through that with the pressure that gets held in here. That's going to go out with 3/8 airline to our horns. I think I found a spot where I can mount them, but I'm going to try to keep that airline as short as I can, because when I tore out the other one, I found out I don't got that much DOT airline left. I'd like to use that good braided stuff. But hopefully tomorrow, if it's not raining, they can pull the truck in here and I can crawl underneath it and see what we can do. I might have to run the Lowe's and get some 1/4-inch plugs for some of these extra holes here. But we're going to move our blow off fitting so it's underneath the cab of the truck. Before, when it was under the hood, it was no big deal because it was on that manifold, but I don't want that son of a bitch blowing when I'm driving. It'll scare the hell out of me. So we'll be back tomorrow. Alright, we're back. Wednesday morning. I just crawled all around that truck and there is not enough room to mount those things under there without doing like what I did in my last truck and taking the spare tire out. And seeing it's a brand new truck, I'm not going to do that. If it wasn't there, I just mount them like I had them before. But There's a couple little spots, but there's too much hanging down and it looks like hell, I think. I found a place to mount the tank up under the frame above the muffler. And that gives me like 3 inches of clearance, so that won't bother that. I think we're just going to end up going with the Lampoose electric air horn in the front, and I'll probably go back to this Hadley horn, and I can mount that underneath on the rail. And this is a nice horn. I mean, this will move them out of the way. Let me see if I get this in here. So that's got a nice, that'll move them. It's better than the horns they put on the front of that thing. So I think the way I'm going to rig that up is I'm going to parallel that off that electric air horn relay. And that way I can hit the outfitter switch to turn the electric one off. And this will fire off the horn ring as well. So I'll have either or both. So that's the plan for today. Going to continue putting this together, but like I said, at least all this stuff is going to be in the cab now, and it should all fit behind the back seat. I put a small little system in my 1988, one of those Vivor setups, but this is a nice compressor. It's 100% duty cycle. Plus it'll give me the onboard air if I come up on somebody that needs a little air in their tire or whatever. So we'll be back. Alright, we got our tank prepped. We got our blow-off valve, couple of plugs. Got her blue demoned up with some black goop on the plugs. That's going to be our line back into the manifold. Put some that rubber mastic tape I had left over. I'm going to put that in there, and hopefully I won't hear any rattling because it's like a rubbery tape. And I'm not going to be able to use the factory rings on that because I don't have the room. So I'm going to wrap some of this heavy-duty perforated strap up around the frame and some quarter 20 bolts. It'll suck it right up tight. And I'll probably put a pre-pipe that with a piece of blue airline so I can put it up through the bushing. I found a place to go through the floor in the back. So gonna run over and see my dad for a minute, but we'll let that set, and we'll be back. Man, it's cold out here today. Wind's blowing. Why this is up on the ramps here, I had to mount that Lampoose electric horn under there, so I had to put it up on the ramps. I couldn't do it in the garage. But I'll crawl under here and show you where we mounted our air stuff. We did get that done yesterday. I don't know if you can see that, but this is above the tailpipe, right up next to the frame. See, I got two straps around here, and then I put another strap across, so that's tight. So that ain't going anywhere. It's galvanized strap. So, you know, you got to check it once a year just to make sure. But found our lines. I ended up drilling a bushing back through there. So I brought our horn and power feed back through there. Piece of 12-2 tray cable. Pretty heavy duty hide on it. So it's just like having wire loom on it. Just routed it, put a few tie wraps on it. But there's our Hadley horn. Had some of them heavy duty real thin tie wraps. And that's right up tight. And there's our 3/8 airline pitched down for drainage. And that should work good. So I'll take you under the, well, maybe I can show you right from here. Right up front is where I mounted that lamp house electric horn. It's facing down, but I got the wires pulled up in wire loom, and now we can take it in the garage and I can wire that amplifier and the switches up. So we'll pull her in and we'll be back. Okay, we're back in the garage, back in where our mess is. I'm going to show you the wiring under here. Some of it ain't pretty, but I'll try to get a light up here so we can see a little better. And what we did, we actually found a spot for our Lampoos horn amplifier, which is perfect. It fits right up in there on that ridge. Time I tie wrap it to this, shouldn't go anywhere. So that's good. It's out of the way. Got our wires coming up from our outfitter switches. Now the Lampoos horn is going to be on switch 1, and our compressor in the back is going to be on switch 6 because that was one of the 40 amperes. So that'll take the load of directly driving that compressor back there, which isn't, it's not a big compressor, that's no problem. Plus that's fused down to 25 back there. But we're going to mount our horn output. There's a wire that's paralleled off our front horns to run this relay. Okay, so we got a ground here, and we got the in and out, and we got a double output. One goes back for the air horn solenoid. The other one is going to the amplifier for this, so it's either or. And by the time I think I found a way to isolate that back there too. But anyway, this is just going to go here on a stud. I'll tape those connections first, but that should work out good. Trying to keep it neat. Left a little slack there to tuck down, so if I got to get to my fuse box, I don't have to disconnect anything. So we'll get this all rigged up, and we'll be back into the cab and show you how we mounted that compressor unit. All right, we're all done. Not bad. Everything sits back there on that board. It's all hidden when you flip the console up, and that's the way I usually drive with it anyway, but everything's fused. That's where our bushing come through the floor with our wiring. Got our pressure gauge. Not bad. I ended up adding an extra relay in there so I could enable just one side or the other, but if I get in here, I'll show you. The two new horns are not active until you turn on the outfitter switches, and I'll show you that. See, that's our wimpy horn from before, but as soon as you start the truck, the Lampoos horn is on. That's on with that. Compressor's on 5. This guy's pretty loud. Jesus H. But that way, when the car is off and you lock it, you get just the old 2 regular beeps. You don't got to hear the air horn go off or the other one go off. And they're either or. So I could enable both of these at once or one or the other. So that's about it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, folks. Have a good one.